G'day everyone and welcome to Self-Reliance Australia. For those who are new to the channel, I'm Brett. And look, this week's video is a reasonably short one. Look, it's a job that I've just been sort of putting off. It wasn't that long to do in the end. Basically, there was some previous work done trying to attach a toilet roll holder. I'm sure some of you have experienced this before where people put it in the wrong spot or the old one breaks off and then we've got multiple holes in the wall. And so I had that situation where I had about 3 different sets of holes already. And in my attempt to cover it up last time by positioning the new holder in a different position, I just didn't quite get the stud in the wall. And so therefore it just kept coming loose all the time. So there could have been a big job in trying to, cut and place the panels in. But what I went for was a reasonably quick and easy fix in the end. And I think it looked okay. So without going into too much detail, let's just jump straight into it. And look, if you do enjoy it, please give us the big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help the channel to grow. So the job I'm trying to get done here is this toilet roll holder. So this is where it was originally. That broke off, and then when we moved in they had something stuck here which sort of covered that a little bit, but we wanted to get a different one on. So I've positioned this in a way that when it was tight, the toilet roll would cover these little plastic inserts. Anyway, as a result of that, I didn't quite have the length here to get into the stud. I thought the fibro might be strong enough to hold it, but clearly it was not. So my plan to fix this once and for all is actually cut these off, take this out. I'm going to glue on a piece of just 3mm ply that covers that neatly. I've painted it up, then I'll screw this back in on that stud line through the ply as well. So the ply's got a lot more meat to hang on to. Oh sorry, this has got a lot more meat to hang on to, because I'll have the ply and hopefully then the board or the stud in behind that wall. You can see that stud where the nail holes are as we go up. So that's the plan. We'll see how we go. So that's the end result of getting that off. Now on the bottom is actually just a plain screw, like just a flathead, and that screws into, actually sort of creates a lock over this plate, and that plate sits on the wall. So the plan of attack is I've cut this piece of ply up, say 3mm. I've painted around the edges as well, as you saw, and the plan is to glue onto there like so. Now that's not going to be the nicest finish, but this is not plasterboard. This is like a fibro cement sheet, which is actually very hard to fill and look decent. And there's a bit of all sorts of stuff going on with that board from previous work. You can see previous repairs, which just look disgusting. So let's see if this works. So it's all glued. This is the line of the studs, because you see all the nails in the wall there. So I'm just going to continue that down. And mark it there. So what I'm doing now is measure either side of that to where I want to drill. So one of the other screws, that the head of it was just a little bit rounded out, probably because I'd used the drill to try and put it in and just rounded it out a little bit the last time I put it in. So anyway, I've gone for a couple of different screws. I think I've got the space to use this flathead screw, which actually put a bit of more compression onto that plate. We'll just see how that goes. And the other option is just a little bit shorter screw, which is a bit more similar to the other one, but I'm going to try to give this one a go. This is the same length as the older one, just a little bit thicker. So anyway, see how we go. That looks good. Next step is to get this back on. This is just a plain flathead screw, or grub screw in there. And basically it just goes on, puts pressure on the bottom of that plate. That's how it holds in place. It really is that easy. And that is like poetry. Lovely. So that's what it looks like with the finished toilet roll on it. Look, it's not overbearing, especially when you put the paper on there as well. But look, it's a fairly neat finish, I think. Look, it looks much neater than what was there before. There were holes there. There were previous repairs that were just rough as rough. At least what we have now is something neat. It's not too proud, doesn't stand out too much. Look, it is only 3mm all the way around. Once you put that on, it covers the majority of it up anyway, so happy days. So there you go, another job done. Look, in the end, that didn't take too long to do it all. The longest time was actually waiting for the paint to dry. But rest assured, I did not sit there and stare at it while waiting for the paint to dry. But look, I think the key to all of that was picking a thin piece of ply. So the piece I used was only 3mm thick, as opposed to something a bit thicker. I think if I had to use anything a bit thicker, it would have looked too big, too bulky, and just would have looked ugly on the wall. So look, it has been a couple of weeks now since that's been on the wall. We've had guests come and stay, and it's still holding up really well. So look, I'm very happy with the outcome. Until next time, thanks for watching.